Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Shantia here. So if you're new to my channel, this channel is dedicated to helping women live in a way that feels the most natural to them, which means I like to focus on the inner work, doing the necessary healing within ourselves so that we can cultivate beautiful relationships in our lives, or we can help to improve our lifestyle, we can help to improve our goals, we can improve on our career. You know, all areas get impacted when you do the inner work. So I talk a lot about that in my videos, and that's why I do these Married at First Sight reviews. Because they're willing to put themselves out there, I get the opportunity to kind of assess all the issues that they go through, because there are similar things that I've experienced in my life and I can relate. Everything is about accountability. When you take accountability in your life, when you understand that everything that you create and experience is a result of karma you've created for yourself. Karma is a result of action. So it's like what you do. Sometimes we don't realize that we neglect either ourselves, we neglect our responsibilities, and that reflects and creates bad karma. And we're all wondering, oh my gosh, am I just the unluckiest person? But that's because you haven't done the work. You haven't reflected enough. You didn't take the time to just stop and pause and really think about what was going wrong. Right off the bat, I want to give a short review about the after party for Married at First Sight. I think Keisha is such a sweet host and she's super endearing, but I honestly don't know why they got rid of Jamie. I actually find the after party so far, you know, I know she's stepping into the role for the first time, but so far it feels really boring. It feels very boring and kind of forgettable. Jamie, to me, her energy just felt so enveloping and so warm. And on top of that, she did the show the very first season, and she's had the opportunity to really get to know the contestants over the years. Maybe they could have paired them together and created something new, but just getting rid of Jamie to me just didn't make any sense. The after parties are really boring. I honestly think she's asking even less challenging questions than Jamie was asking. Sometimes I felt like Jamie went too soft on everyone, but I feel like these questions feel even more detached and less personal. We all want those deep questions like Kevin Frazier sometimes asks. For the overall show, it was 2 hours. It was actually shorter, which was great, but it was so boring. I was bored. Last year was just like off the chart, well, drama, but also off the chart personality. So I think it being boring is actually a good thing, because that points to how the contestants have much more normalized, much more humble attitudes, personalities that are a lot more relatable, and they're not willing to go crazy every time drama comes up. Last season was really exciting. The weddings were so fun and just so engaging, and it just had me smiling from ear to ear for every episode, but everyone broke up. Good reality TV doesn't necessarily make for healthy partnerships in real life. Even though they're boring, that actually might be a good thing. Jasmina and Michael got married, and Katina and Elijah got married. For this episode, Alyssa and Chris and Noy and C will be getting married in the next episode, and Lindsay and Mark got married in the previous episode. Off the bat, I feel like as far as demeanors go, I think they kind of are a match. They both are heady. You know, Michael kept pointing out how he wanted someone who had more going on up there, on an intelligent level, was more of a match to him. And I think that is important to address. Like when it comes to men, they do look for their intellectual match. They want to be able to hold a conversation with you, because you're going to be their best friend when it comes to having conversations. So you guys have to know how to like at least keep up with daily conversations. As far as attraction goes, Jasmina is absolutely a black Barbie doll, and Katina is the same thing. They're both tall, dark, beautiful, and gorgeous women. They are just very striking. And it's so interesting because their personalities can be more different. I feel like Katina comes off as more soft, fun, and lighthearted, easygoing, whereas Jasmina comes off as more mature, a little bit more intense. She has just this very like regal vibe to her. So I feel like they have like really beautiful representations of black women on this show this season. Michael, she's 100%, most people say it, because she's just knockout gorgeous, just like you said. As far as attraction for Jasmina's part, I think she wasn't quite feeling it, because when Keisha asked her in the after party on a scale of 1 to 10, where was her attraction? She didn't even rate it. Now, maybe she was being very sincere when she decided not to put a number on it. As far as attraction goes, it's more of the things under the surface to her that she was paying attention to, not really the surface. She wasn't super attracted to him immediately. Ultimately, it's the things, like it's the long-term qualities that you're looking for in a partner that's gonna stand out. Like the attraction is nice. It's nice, and you definitely want some kind of attraction, but you're looking for a lifetime partner. And I think to her, she was noting that about Michael. Obviously, he was blown away by her beauty, and Jasmine was so nervous, she wanted to throw up. She has like this cute, quirky side to her that I just absolutely love. She has such a nice range when it comes to her personality. If you ever check out Mina, the Universe Guru's YouTube videos, she talks about the importance of having range, which all women do. You know, there's a reason why women, we have to cut our hair every so often and change our outfits and go through our closet. We're cyclical beings. We transform ourselves so easily, so effortlessly. We like to be different things in different experiences. And I think Bao was trying to point this out to Johnny, is that she has multiple sides to her personality. The more range you have, the more interesting and intriguing and mysterious you are. So Jasmina, she has this serious, mature, womanly side to her, but she has this quirky, cute side, nerdy side to her too that comes out that I just find super endearing. She comes off as naturally confident. Even though she's so nervous, she knows how to rein it in. She knows how to utilize self-control. And I was just kind of disappointed with Michael's reaction because he didn't really say anything to her when he first saw her. You know, this is your wife. Like, talk to that woman. The one thing I don't like about this show is that these men don't really work for the women. They're handed women. Think about traditional arranged marriages. The family's gonna vet him, right? They're gonna be like, okay, do you got your ish together? Are you a good person? They're gonna talk to your family. They're gonna look at so many different aspects, and you're gonna like be sweating bullets because you're like, oh my gosh, I hope thinks that I'm good enough for their daughter. And I just feel like these men, the one thing that I get annoyed about, because in real life it doesn't work like that, right? You know, you have to date her, you have to earn her. Some women don't understand that their value is so much more higher than that. They don't really make men work as hard for them. I'm like, it's not that you have to put him through a hard time. Take the time to see that he has all the qualities that you're looking for in a partner and in a father and whatever else you want to experience with a life partner. I just feel like, okay, like work for her. Like, where's your confidence? Where's your leadership? I think Michael does have a much more quieter confidence. It's a lot less on display. He was probably nervous, but he kind of handled himself well. She was leading the conversation most of the time, and I didn't really like that because I'm like, talk to her, look at her. I know you're nervous, but talk to her, lead the conversation, direct it. You know, to me, those are kind of like signs of what makes the difference between a male and a man is his ability to carry, like to make sure she's comfortable, to look out for her needs. Now, I think he does do that, and he does do it in a much more quieter way, but I would have liked him to lead the conversation, to lean over to make sure she's comfortable. That's just, to me, gentleman-like manners. And you know, my dad is such a gentleman, so I'm just used to like, you come on, like you have to treat her with like respect. Like, she is, you have to treat her as such. There are times where she was leading, I didn't care for that she led the conversation, that she led the toast. Lead the toast, like what? What are you doing? So like, this is always a thing when you haven't had like a father figure in your life. You're not gonna know how to treat a woman unless you have an uncle or someone else. Your friends, your guy friends, aren't necessarily gonna know how to teach you how to be men because they're in the exact same place as you. But you need to look for someone older than you, more mature than you as a man, who can tell you how to treat a woman, how to be a leader, basically, as a man. One thing I think that will work to Jasmina's advantage when it comes to Michael is that he's not pushy. You know, he has kind of like a light touch to, or a lightness about him. He's not pushy. He doesn't seem like he has to be right all the time or get his way all the time. So I think in that sense, they're going to work really well because Jasmina, I think potentially she knows what she wants. She's a lot more focused and diligent about, or persistent about, going after what she wants. Because she has such natural leadership skills, I think she's going to have the ability to, she'll lead and he'll let her lead at times. I think that's what's going to work great. I'm curious to know if she's going to trust for him to lead or if he knows how to lead. Especially a woman like that who is confident, more self-assured. You want to make sure that you're also just as self-assured and you know how to lead when she needs you to be there to help her out or to support her. On Twitter, they kept saying that he hit the jackpot. I would have to say I agree. Again, you know, Jasmina showcases a lot of great qualities, but the thing is, I think she feels like the person who says what she means. She means what she says what she means. Therefore, I feel like what she's presented is genuine because she's not trying to portray herself as a certain way. You know, I think Alyssa comes off as she's very fixed on the outer, And so she's trying to make things look a certain way. She needs things to be a certain way on the outside. To me, people who try so hard to work on the outside to make things look so perfect on the outside, they're the ones who are the most afraid of letting people see what's on the inside. I feel like Jasmina, she has a softness, she has a vulnerability, a caringness to her. She was making him feel comfortable. That's the only part that bothered me. I'm just like, support her, make her feel comfortable, make her feel supported. Women they're naturally empathic, right? We're naturally emotional beings, and therefore we are a little bit more vulnerable just by nature. I think Jasmina can hold her own, but I would like to see Michael step up to the plate more. That's why I feel like he's too young for her. Even though they're the same age, he's too young for her. Jasmina said in the after party that he made a great first impression. She didn't talk about the rating of hotness or attractiveness, but she said he made a great first impression, and I feel like those words were very sincere. She also said that she felt like there was a little spark there, so I also thought that was great. When I was watching their physical chemistry, I felt like there was a connection. They seemed pretty comfortable with one another, and really that's all I have to say about it. We'll have to see how everything pans out, but like I've said before many times, I think they have the potential to really succeed because they both seem very level-headed, and that's like the top quality you need to be on this show, and also just to be in a marriage in general. You have to be able to neutralize yourself. So I'm curious to see how things are going to move forward with them. Another thing I liked about Jasmine and Michael, when they were dancing, they seemed comfortable with each other. They seemed accepting. But sometimes first impressions can be but they can be deceptive. Moving on to Katina and Elijah. I thought that their marriage was also cute. It was also a little bit boring as well. The weddings were boring, and then life went on. Elijah's family mentioned again that he might have very high expectations. He's looking for a soulmate, and he wants all of these things. So the fact that the family is so concerned to me is like a big sign, because I'm just like, oh gosh, the family is really concerned. They seem really concerned. Therefore, I think that's a result of what we're probably going to see. You know, there really isn't much more to say to that. I think Katina, she seems very calm. She has a very chill, calm energy about her. I liked what her friends said, and actually I loved what her mom said too, about focus on something about the measure of his character, measure that, and that should make up for what he lacks, and see if that's the partner you're looking for. I totally misquoted it, but her mother said something really powerful, and I think it's always awesome. I want to say really quick, I give the family, all the families for these episodes have been awesome. I feel like they're so honest and genuine. They give such great feedback, and yet they're also super supportive. Michael's family was so supportive. Jasmina's family was supportive. Like, everyone was just so sweet and supportive of their siblings or their daughters or their brothers getting married, and I thought that was really cute. Everyone said that he might have an issue of having high expectations and also letting go of his Playboy past. So there does seem to be a little bit of an issue there, because he keeps mentioning it. For one, I hope she forgives my past. I hope she can let go of my past. A preview for the next episode, he said that he feels like all his sins have been forgiven. So there's a lot of guilt there. And something I forgot to mention in my previous reviews, when a guy is going through his Playboy phase, or a woman is going through her Playgirl phase, it usually has a lot to do with needing to heal. So people who are going through those phases, that's the before the healing happens or starts to happen. There's a hurt or there's an insecurity they're trying to work out. Like, that's a sign of someone needing healing, needing to do a lot more inner work. So obviously he let that go, but I think there's a bit more healing for him. I've already said it before. It feels a little bit premature for both of them to be getting into this marriage and into this situation. He seems genuine. What I like about him is that he's transparent, he's genuine. He wears his heart on his sleeve. I just don't know that he has the emotional maturity to handle marriage. You know, not to throw a tantrum if things don't go his way. I just don't get that vibe. He seems like he will throw a tantrum if things don't work his way. Like Zach and Michaela, back and forth tantrums. Johnny as well. He was more grown than the other ones, but still throwing tantrums. And if you're throwing tantrums like that, you still have a lot more personal inner works. If you just do it alone, it'll benefit you so much more. Katina, Comes off as really sweet. She said that she was overwhelmed by his personality, which, because she's so chill and sweet, I think that was going to be an obvious problem. He kept calling himself a good catch, and I hope she likes what she sees. It does feel very like self-centered. If you feel the need or you feel compelled to be selfish, like really selfish, be selfish, but don't do that excessive selfishness in a partnership, because you're really gonna hurt them. If you feel like you need to be selfish, like it's all about your emotions and it's all about your feelings, go do that and heal. But partnerships require a lot of sacrifice. My parents have said, my dad has said, that marriage has a lot to do with tolerating. What can you tolerate? You have to know what you can tolerate, because guess what? This person is not perfect. There's a lot of things about them you're gonna have to handle and you're gonna have to work with. My dad calls it tolerating. I like to call it spaciousness. To me, it's about how much space can you hold and can you make to give that person so that they can be human. I believe people need space to be human, to be flawed, to work things through. And we have to have the ability within ourselves to forgive. To me, if you don't come into a marriage with the ability to be very compassionate and forgiving, you're gonna have issues, because you're gonna need that skill. You're gonna need to forgive them. You're gonna have to learn how to let things go, because this person is not gonna be perfect. They're gonna sometimes do things that I wouldn't say feel hurtful, but might be selfish. They may not even be intending to hurt you, but it might not feel good for you. So have that spaciousness. Allow people to be human, you'll be fine. Another thing about Elijah Wan focusing on like the surface when it comes to confidence, I think truly confident men own confidence in silence. They don't have to display it. They don't have to show it in ostentatious ways. They just are it. If you ever find yourself talking a lot about how you feel like you should be or are in this life, reflect about how that matches up with your actions in life. I think another telltale sign about Elijah Wan was he kept saying, I want to leave this behind. I want to leave that behind. I want to leave this behind. I want to leave all of this behind. It's like, why are you saying I want to leave? Haven't you already left it? I caught that. A lot of the men, I think, kept saying, I wanted this, I wanted this, I wanted this. But like, it is very telling. It's very telling when someone says, I want to this. Because I want implies that you don't have it yet. You don't have the leaving the Playboy stuff behind. And I would say that popped up for Michael too. You know, I'm ready for, I want this, I want the maturity, I want the, if you can be present and you can acknowledge where you're at, even if you're flawed and you have all these things you need to work on, if you can acknowledge those things, then that's a great first step. Elijah Wan, just as Katina mentioned in the after party, is really great with words. He's really great with communication. Playboys are also good with words. I'm not saying he's a playboy anymore, but I'm just saying that that's probably what he used to his benefit when he was pursuing women in the past. But he was a great communicator. After their wedding, when they had the champagne, he kept telling her about, this is what works for me. I mean, this is what I want to do. And, you know, all of these things, which I thought was great. I wish I would have heard Katina saying more of her points. But because he's so direct with his communication, he's actually very good at it. It's easy for him to overwhelm her. So where they're going to struggle, I think, is with the communication, because I don't think he's quick. The thing is, he's very quick with his words. He's very, I don't know what the word is, like there's an intelligence there when it comes to communications. And she, to me, feels calm and direct with her communication. I think there might be a little bit of an incompatibility there, but that's just where they're gonna have to to meet each other in the middle. I wish the best for them. I'm willing to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. There are a lot of issues with the matches this season, because it seems like everybody got what they weren't really looking for. I also forgot to mention that Elijah Wan was very attracted to Katina. Obviously, she's gorgeous, so that's great. And she said she was also attracted to him. She called him a 10 during the after party, so that's also great. Moving on to, let's talk about Lindsay Mark. Mark, I have nothing to say about him. He seems like a calm, chill, cool guy. Lindsay, I'm kind of getting some mixed messages. So behind the scenes, she was talking about how she felt incredibly attracted to her husband. But during the after party in the first episode, she said that the first kiss she had with him was like kissing her grandmother. And then she also mentioned that he wasn't her type. She had never dated a Guido. He reminded her of a Guido. He was a bit different than what she was used to. But here she was saying she's incredibly attracted to him, so I don't know. I'm kind of getting some mixed messages there, but she's allowed to change her mind. To me, attraction is just like, it's there, it's not there, but you're allowed to fluctuate how you feel. I just wonder if maybe her opinion changed based off of whether the relationship succeeded or not. Lindsay also jokes like a man. So there are times where she was just cussing like a sailor. She was cussing like a sailor. I just felt like when it comes to the language she uses, it does feel inappropriate. I'm getting the vibe of is she needs like a guy who kind of is like rough with their words too, because that can make someone really uncomfortable. Like she's a very specific kind of energy or personality to be around. Like to me, she'd be fun for a night, but to be around that every day would be overwhelming. The thing that comes to mind is she either needs someone who can be just as like rough or like crazy with the words and languaging and keep up with her, or she needs to be tamed. And in this sense, because everyone's saying like she needs to simmer. She needs to simmer. She needs someone who could help her stay a little bit more grounded, which I absolutely agree. Because she's like kind of all over the place with her emotions and her words, and it's a little, there's a lack of self-control with her. They call her wild child. She's like a wild horse. Like she needs to be tamed a little and grounded. I feel like the only way that's going to happen for her is for her to really meet someone and fall in love with someone who just absolutely blows her mind in terms of how they treat her. And she wants to adhere to, the thing is, I think they talk a lot about men being tamed, but women also have an aspect in us, like we could be very free-spirited, woo-woo, that needs to be tamed or contained in a healthy way. She needs someone who inspires that in her, who she's just like, wow, he just keeps me so calm and chill and normal, and I need that. I don't know if that Mark is the person, but I'm always hoping that each one of these couples uses as an opportunity to find their happy ending, or to learn about how to create their happy ending eventually with someone else. We shall see. That's all I have to say about Lindsay and Mark. Moving on to Noi and Steve. Noi is just so sweet. She's just so sweet. Like, she's just the type of person you're like, oh my god, I just hope you meet your forever person and you're just so happy and all your dreams come true. That's how she makes me feel. I just want the best for her. The thing with money came up again. She talked about how, oh, I never thought I was going to get this chance to try on all these expensive gowns. I don't know if she said poverty, but they came from a lot of financial struggle. And therefore, Steve, you better get that job. If you do not get that job, I'm going to be pissed because this is a great woman. You do not want to let this one go. I mean, she has such a pure and beautiful, good heart. Steve's family seems so sweet. Again, all of the families just seem so genuine, so sweet. Steve's family seems really sweet. I hope they work it out. But the thing is, he seems quite detached. Like, his friend was asking him, hey, are you nervous? I just don't know if Noi, they might balance each other out. Maybe he can help her bring something out of her, and then she can help bring out of him more vulnerability, more fluidity. He seems really sweet and kind, but he also seems kind of detached. So that's where I'm not quite sure if they're going to be compatible. Because even in the picture, when I first saw them, my first impression was that he was kind of detached. He wasn't really sharing any nerves. He wasn't experiencing a lot of nerves. Noi was really, you know, she was emotional, she cried, she was nervous. So I'm just not really sure if they're going to be quite the match for one another. They kind of remind me of the couple from one of those seasons where the guy he lived on a bus. All right, he lived on a bus, and the other girl was like, I can't remember if her name was Lynn. She's a really cute girl. She did real estate, and she, you know, she wanted a traditional life. Lily, I think her name was Lily. And then the guy, he like lived on a bus. And I'm kind of getting that vibe from Steve and Noi. It's like, he explored the world, hasn't had a job in 4 months, he just wants like a traditional, healthy lifestyle. I'm hoping the best for them. We'll see. Overall, the episode was pretty boring. So boring that I almost forgot about Chris and Alyssa, who honestly, I don't really have that much to say. I think there's a big miss on this. Why do we have this obviously incompatible couple being matched together? Again, with Alyssa's personality and her being so picky, she should immediately be eliminated from being chosen. You need a lot of flexibility to be on this show. She was so fixed on she's so obsessed with like the cowboy. I don't know, it just seems very superficial, very surfacey stuff. I'm sure she has more going on underneath. Girl, I need to see it. Like, I need to see something from you. Chris literally brought up that word. He talked about the incompatibility. So I'm just like, poor guy. He seems like a cool guy. He does seem kind of calculative. When I say calculative, he seems very nerdy and analytical. I just don't know that she's gonna vibe with that. She wants a country guy. Like, she's very fixed on the country theme, and she wants a country guy. She wants her fantasy, basically. And she's gonna get Chris, and she's gonna be like, huh, is this what I asked for? I don't really think there's any hope for them as I'm seeing the episodes progress. That is my review of Married at First Sight. Guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below. Please share down below. Tell me your response, your comment. Did you find the episode just as boring as I did? Because I watched it twice. I usually do. First time for like entertainment, second time for notes. And I literally couldn't, I didn't have the patience for any of it. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so boring. Like, nothing's really happening. Other than that, we shall see. I upload every week, so make sure you are here for my next review of Married at First Sight. I hope you have a wonderful day or evening. Bye.